got millions of reasons to let it all go. Hope we're not too broken. I know I'm not always strong. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been fighting ways to get away, to see you again, see you again.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our growlings when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding. Play me like a bass guitar, simmer down.
Hello, I think we should be good. Testing, testing.
Woo! Yep, we hear you loud and clear,
Alright.
Bucko. What's
Hello.
poppin'? What's poppin', my people?
All right, guys. So we're back after seems like an eternity. It's been what, like 3 years?
Something like that. Man. It's like 3 weeks, 3 years. It's about the same. Rizzo, what's poppin', bro?
Yeah, we got Jay Rezu in the chat already. Juan, do you have the podcast open? Do you have the chat open? Make sure you
I
open
don't know
that.
if I do.
Because
How do I do that?
just go to twitch.tv/slicer1313 and you'll see the chat right
Alright.
there. So
Okay.
Chad, this is right here, my buddy Juan. I've known him for like around a year, and it's crazy how much like so basically whenever we hang out, we talk about all these stuff that we talk about in the podcast. It's crazy because I'm like, yeah, we talked about that in the podcast with Slaine, and he's like, oh really? And then he was like, oh, let me try to get on, and I'm like, sure. So today's the day. So welcome everybody to the Slicer and Slaine show, right, Slaine?
Yo, what's poppin'? Y'all already know what time it is, even though it's been this time for 3 weeks. Man, I've been itching to do this actually, man, because it's been a lot of stuff happening these past few weeks, and I wanted to speak on all of it. But as the day came to do the show, things didn't line up. We ended up skipping like 3 weeks worth of content. But man, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to meet our guest here, Juan. So yeah, man, let's go ahead and get it popping with this show. So Juan, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, man.
All right, all right. Well, hello everyone. I'm Juan. Like Casilla mentioned, we met probably like a year, not that long ago, but a year ago. Um, but yeah, there's not much to say about me. I'm just a guy. Uh, I like to have good conversations. Like I said, mentioned, we usually talk about this kind of topics when we hang out. So I'm just happy to be here and see what can I contribute to these conversations that you all have when you have this little stream. So happy to be here.
Oh, that's dope, man. We're happy to have you. And if it ever gets too hot in the chair, just let us know. But we cause we definitely do not have a filter. And I said you haven't met me yet. I'm a pretty chill, pretty laid back guy. But if I have a point and you disagree, we gonna talk about it. So
That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
I'm
and
down.
I love having conversations like that, and I love just I think it's about having conversations and discussions and really trying to understand the other side. So I'm all for it.
Yeah,
Jay,
absolutely, man.
Jay's calling
He's trash.
Slaine trash.
Jay, get the fuck out my chat. I ain't got time for this. But we're gonna go ahead. We gonna get into this show, man. So Haas, I'm gonna let you take the first question
Yeah.
because you had a lot more stuff come up than I did in this time.
Y-
So what happened to you these past few weeks, if you don't mind, sharing with the
Yeah,
people?
yeah. So before I get into that, I just want to make a quick shout out to alcohol. If you're over
Oh,
21, of course, as usual, grab a drink with us, have a good time. If you're under 21, stick around, just wait here until you turn 21, then have a drink with us. But yeah, so let me just open it up.
that ASMR wave check. No, sir. I have my braids. All right, so I'm braided right now, and then I'm supposed to cut the sides, but I ain't been to the barbershop in like 2 weeks, so my sides are fucked up, and I'm not putting that on the internet.
I guess yeah, that's what happens with bad hair weeks.
Man, it'd be like that. I'm going to the barbershop this weekend, though, so I just gotta make it.
Well, basically these past 3 weeks, so back in the December, one of the pipes here behind the webcam broke, and then we have to be moved to an Airbnb. So we were there for a week, whatever, and it was a nice Airbnb. It was a nice hotel. Then January came, same thing happened, same pipe, and then we're like, oh, what a coincidence! It can't happen again, right? And then 3 weeks ago, it happened again. So we had to go to an Airbnb. Then we came back home. Then they changed the whole pipe, so then we went to another Airbnb. So that was like almost 2 weeks of just going back and forth between Airbnbs, and it was so annoying because the last Airbnb we were there for like a week with no Wi-Fi. Like I had to
Oh,
use
that's
my
tragic.
phone's data for the whole week. It was so annoying.
That is tragic, man. I can't imagine. You know what I'm saying? Doing like that host is trash. How you gonna host an Airbnb and then not have amenities? That's
No,
disgusting.
the thing is that when I guess she because it says Wi-Fi available, but you know what? It was Wi-Fi for the whole building. So where I was at the end of the building, and it was like one bar. So I'm like, bro, this is so trash. I can't even use it. So that's how
That's so trash.
they got
Yeah,
away
that's
with
so
that.
trash.
And then on other things, I actually start school tomorrow, so I've been busy with that too, preparing for grad school. I'm trying to get my master's, and I start tomorrow night, so it's gonna be weird being a student again.
Oh,
Uh,
sick, man. I'm proud for you.
yeah, so it's gonna be exciting. And then Gabby and I have been making some big moves when it comes to the wedding because we had our wedding planned last year, but that got
Hmm.
postponed because of COVID. So we're like getting the ball rolling now. So it's also a little bit stressful, but we got this.
Oh man, yeah, absolutely. Let me know whatever date you decide so I can clear a weekend because I'm definitely gonna be there
I
showing
will.
up and showing out.
I will.
I'm so happy for y'all,
Yeah.
man.
How you been the last 3 weeks, Slaine, and then Juan?
Oh man, my life has spiraled beyond control, my guy. Not in a not in an all bad way, but I'm I am in a totally different place right now than I was 3 weeks ago, and there's just so much stuff that contributed to that. But pretty much just I said that first week. when you were gone because your house having issues. I was arguing. I was arguing on the internet with pretty much every woman in my life, and we just been discussing, various experiences that I've had. One as a guy in general, and then two, me as a specific person, as a black man, and like me being me, my experiences. So I was talking about that to all these women in my life, and they kept. I noticed a trend to where whenever I would talk about something that happened to me that was traumatic or influential on my life, they would kind of just nod and agree, and it's gonna be okay. And well, sometimes that happened. It was all positivity and advice and stuff.
Mhm.
But whenever I talked about my experiences with women, they got defensive, and I kept having to bring up the point over and over and over that I'm not talking about like when I talk about women, I don't mean you specifically. I mean the specific women like in my life who did the things to me that I'm talking about. Because of course that influences the way I see women in general. And whenever I would say that, I'm saying they just got really defensive, and the conversation ended up detracting so many times to the point where I just stopped talking. Like I just, you know what? Okay, you got it, and I would just leave the conversation. And it came off as rude, and then they kind of got upset that I was being rude, but it was like, I kind of just wanted to get off of the train because it wasn't going to the right station.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that got you a lot of ideas because I could see the topics that you came up with, and that has a lot of stuff, that kind of
Yeah,
stuff in it.
man, a lot of that shit happened too. But pretty much so after that, so week two, I started my new job. I left the hospital again, and now I'm working at a different base, and they're paying me pretty good money. It's still not quite what I see myself making for the foreseeable future. So I'll probably be back on the job market in a few months. But yeah, new job. They're paying me pretty decent money. I like it there. I don't have any real responsibilities. And 2 weeks in, and I'm still the new guy. So I'm still in training. They're they're just paying me to show up at this point. So that's fucking hilarious to me. And as for my third week, um, this was kind of where my life just tumbled full spiral because I was um I was reflecting on my life pretty much. I was reflecting on my life, my personality, kind of. I've never been the type of person to have goals, um, but I wanted to see if I could set a goal for myself. So I challenged myself to set one short term goal and one long term goal, and I'm really gonna try to stick with those. So short term was my I wanted to buy, I wanted to like commit is a better word. I committed a large amount of money into some stocks that I'm pretty confident about, and this is my first time doing that. I'm still nervous about it, but I'm trusting myself to stay on top of it. I did the research, I put in the time and the effort to convince myself to buy the stock in the first place and that it'd be a worthwhile option. And now I'm convincing myself to just not take my money back out of it and just ruin something I see is going to be worth more in the future.
Was it in
So
Dogecoin or what?
no, it's not Doge. No, I sold my Doge before it started booming again, so I'm a little upset about that too. Fuck. But yeah, so I did that, and then so I was reflecting about my life, and I I was noticing that I didn't really like the person that I was, well, that I am right now. I don't really like myself, and I'm not sure if I don't like myself because I'm changing, or do I not like myself because, like I said, I'm learning more about the world and the people in it, and I'm realizing that I am not the type of person who I don't necessarily fit into the world right now.
Mm.
So yeah, it was just a super deep, just self-reflective conversation with myself that I had, and I'm still having it actually. And I'm just in a really bad place right now because I'm mentally fighting myself. So that's kind of where I've been for these past 3 weeks. It's just been a bunch of arguing with other people and arguing with myself. And right now, in a, I'm not in a bad place. I'm just in a place where I don't know where I am, pretty much.
Like
So it's unfamiliar territory. Yeah, it's
yeah.
unfamiliar, and I don't really like it. So I'm kind of just fighting that feeling.
All right. Well, that's what the podcast is about. We gotta fight that. Yeah, it is.
Mental health awareness month facts.
Yeah. What about you, Juan? What have you been up to?
Well, to be honest, if you ask me what I did in the last 3 weeks, I can probably tell you what I did yesterday. But I can do my best to kind of give you a little recap. More than anything, I'm just trying to get back into kind of like health and fitness. I'm someone that likes to like for self care and for like just taking care of myself. I like to really just stay active, so my mental health is in a good place, making sure that my head is in the right place. So that's the kind of things that I like doing. I'm playing more soccer, and those kind of things. But last week I actually was able to be part of a kind of like a game show. So that was an interesting experience to do like a taping and all that, the whole process behind that. That's a whole new thing. So I can't wait for the taping to actually be aired on TV. So once it
Yeah.
airs, I'll let you know and see how that went. But yeah, other than that, work is keeping me busy.
Cool. I just
Overall, it's
Sick,
pretty
man.
good.
quick shout out to Nitro, for the
That was
subscription,
solid.
and Annalyn, thank you for the follow.
4 months. Only 4 months. Not till you trash. Only 4 months. But yeah, man, that's definitely good to hear that you stay on top of your physical as well as your mental health. That's dope. And you definitely gotta let us know when this game show episode airs because we gonna have to do like a squad live viewing or something.
Yeah, for sure. That's the plan at the moment. Kind of do like a viewing once it airs. Y'all soon y'all are gonna see me choke in that
It's
Oh,
game
it's
show.
like a family
It's all about
feud, right?
yeah, it's all about being on your feet, and I wasn't the best at it, but it was a lot of fun. Like honestly, it's a fun show.
I definitely can't wait to see that. But yeah, all right, cool. So moving along, we're gonna go into this second topic. This one kind of falls into what I've been thinking about for the past few weeks of men are trash, or is it really men being trash, or is it women undermining our experiences or minimizing our experiences, things like that. I think you put this one up for this week. So is this something that you were thinking about, or what's on your mind?
No, I think it's because so basically what happened is some of these topics were there for like 3 weeks because it's been that long since the last one. So I think you put up that topic, but it was like ages ago.
Oh damn,
Yeah. So what were you thinking?
bro, I couldn't tell you. It was 3 weeks ago. My mind has been all over the place. I feel like this is me using sarcasm though, because I was like, because I've been talking about my experience as a man mostly for these past few weeks. So if I put in men are trash, I was probably being sarcastic about
Yeah, me and Juan were talking about how it's not fair how women can sometimes say, I want a tall guy, I want a 6 foot guy, I want my guy to make 6 figures, and they can't really bring anything to the table. And that's kind of annoying because it's a, what do you call it? It's like
a double
it's a
standard.
double standard. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of one of the biggest things. Like I'm not sure if either of you guys are familiar with the black side, like the black man side of YouTube, like the manosphere. And pretty much what it is like the red pill community. And pretty much what it is just it's a bunch of dudes, specifically black dudes, who talk to other dudes about taking the necessary steps of becoming the best version of yourself. Hey Josh, give me an Oreo blast since you're going to Sonic. Yeah, but pretty much yeah, it's just because um for black men, there's no there's no real like black male media on television. We don't have any shows like by us for us on TV. So a bunch of guys are pretty much just they're on YouTube making their own shows specifically geared to like talking to men, addressing men, and pretty much teaching and mentoring men how to be the best version of yourself. However, a lot of that talk comes across as toxic masculinity because normally when you have guys talking to other guys, and if I'm telling you what to do, I'm not telling you it in a way to where you're gonna feel nice about it because nothing would change at that point. You feel me? So it's pretty much just like a bunch of guys, and we're like, look, man, if you want to get women, women like dudes with money, so you got to get money. If you think you got money, Do you get women? If you don't got money. That's just the harsh truth. Something like that, right? It's all facts, and it's coming from a place of respect and mentorship, but it comes across feelings wise as harsh and mean and demeaning. But that's a story for another day. But that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, well, what's your experience like, Juan? Like, I guess you're a single man. What has been your experience like with women? I don't know. Like, I don't know. What do you want to say about
Do
that?
you think men are trash?
Yeah,
Do you
men
think men
Well,
are
trash.
trash?
here's the thing. So I think when you started off the topic, I think you had brought up you made a good comment, thinking about are men trash, or you said that they're just minimizing our experience as men. Then you mentioned toxic masculinity and about all the negative traits that come with masculinity. But now, like my experience in my the world that I live in, would be more around kind of saying that in our world, men are trash because of toxic masculinity. But the thing is that that in most cases, because of the Latino experience and machismo and all of that, men are trash because of kind of like the stuff that we say. We expect women to kind of like cook, we expect them to clean, we expect them to do all these things, and we talk about the 50-50 kind of thing, but that 50-50 line is never really there. Usually the woman is doing more and we expect them to still clean and still do all this thing. We expect them to work, put in half of the bills, and we still expect them to clean, take care of the children. So those kind of things can be seen as men being trash. But now the issue is that there is no such thing as masculinity. That's what I perceive. People kept saying toxic masculinity this, toxic masculinity that, but now men have no real idea as to what it means to be a man. If I ask you now, what does it mean to be a man? What would you tell me?
Okay, so what was it? What does it mean to be a man? This actually is a really good conversation that I love having with people, and I actually have a few counterpoints to some of the points that you made. But
All right.
so pretty much to be a man is to be a provider of pretty much just resources. So whether it be money, safety, or time or availability, just being a provider of resources, being a protector of those who can't protect themselves, and understanding your role as a man. So those three things, in my opinion, make you a man. And those three things are based off of what other people and what women specifically expect when they are asked, what do you want in a man, or what is their definition of a man?
Well, so I think you mentioned two big things that I agree with, as to what it means to be a man, and that's being the protector and the provider. That is
Hmm.
still something that a lot of women look for in a man. And as a man, the one thing that I'm always thinking about is um, am I going to be a provider? Do I have kind of thinking about the money kind of thing? Am I going to have enough money to provide for my partner, for my children, kind of thing? And so that's something that I've struggled with, also. But there's a question. Why don't you ask some women what they think about men are
All right,
trash?
Annalyn, what do you? Yeah, let me ask you the question then. What do you
Okay,
have to
wait.
say?
Before we do that, I'm going to continue addressing
Yeah, yeah.
My
Juan's
point?
point. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
so you also brought up the thing that men expect women to cook and clean, but also expect her to pay half the bills, and that is not true. I think, and from a lot of the men that I know and actually like have personal relationships with, it's just not true. Most guys, like, first of all, cooking and cleaning is the bare minimum any human can bring to like a relationship. That's like saying, oh well, can you spend time with me, or can you be there for me in my time of need? Those are very basic things that people have attached a negative meaning to. So like I said, whenever I ask a woman, can she cook or clean, it's seen as toxic masculinity, or it's seen as an irrational ask, when really it's just the bare minimum thing you should be bringing to a relationship. And then there's also the point of men expecting women to pay half of the bills. Most guys that I know and talk to, and even like I said, back in the manosphere of the YouTube, most guys who really want a woman don't expect her to work at all. Most guys of that mindset, who I want a traditional woman who will cook, clean, take care of babies. Guys who think like that have traditional mindsets, and they're the type of guy who will be willing to pay 100% of bills and be the protector and provider in that household. So the guys who want a woman who cook and clean, and then the guys who want women to be 50-50, those are two subsets of guys, but we're being combined into the same overview of when people look at men. And that's kind of a huge talking point that guys like me constantly perpetuate in life and in social media. But we're met with opposition of I said it's probably heard this before, that good men don't have to say that they're good guys, or good guys don't say that they're good guys. Therefore, any guy who does say he's a good guy isn't a good guy. But if all of the men talking are trash and the good men are silent, there's like the bad guys win. Therefore, the good guys have to speak up and say, hey, I'm a good guy, but they're seen as the bad guy. And it's a paradox in and of itself, when originally the statement that caused this paradox was talking about two subsets of different men. You kind of see where all of that loops together. So that's the way I look at it. That's the way a bunch of guys I know look at it, and we're really fighting to have that image of good guys pretty much destroyed, because it's just, there are a lot of things about us that are just, that people are saying are just not true. Like I would never expect a woman to have a traditional ideals of like cook, clean, take care of the house, take care of babies, and then also ask that woman to work and split the bills, because I don't want to do that myself. I don't want to work, cook, clean, take care of babies. That's why I got somebody else. I want to do the things. I want to do my part so you can do the other part that I don't want to do. I have a maid. I've had a maid for the last 3 years. You want to know why I have a maid? And she comes every 2 weeks? Because I do not like cleaning bathrooms. I'm a grown ass man. I don't like cleaning bathrooms. So I pay someone to come into my house and do it for me. It's the same mindset as having a wife. I don't want to cook, clean, take care of babies, but I'm willing to work and protect everybody in my house, like to be provided with those amenities.
So basically, let me get this straight. So there's two types of guys, you say. Guys that are like 50-50, done. There's other
those
guys.
are the more the 50-50 guys. Those are the more modern guys. Those are guys like our generation, our age, and then the like Generation Z.
And there's
These are the guys where they're tired of like traditional gender roles. So the men and the women, they're just erasing them. So they're saying it doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl, if you're straight, if you're gay, trans, none of that matters. What matters is two people who like each other. They get together and then they do everything together.
Okay.
That's that subset of men and subset of people. And then you have the other guys who are more traditional minded. These are older guys. These are like the generation above us, and these are like the Southern people who were raised still with those I would say, the ethics are rooted in misogyny because they want like the men to control the house. So I guess you could say that. But yeah, so you have the traditional minded men, and then you have the more modern people.
Okay. Yeah. That's a lot to take in, because I mean I see both. I can see how both can be true. So you, Slaine, you said you're the guy who would put in more money so that he wouldn't have to cook, clean.
I'm a little more traditional mindset. I am willing to do everything I can do as a man, because I know I expect my woman to do things that only a woman can do. Only a woman can carry and birth a child. So in order for me to compensate for that, I have to protect that child. I can't have one myself, but I can protect it. I can give it life. Well, in order to have a child, you have to make compromise. Life is about choices and compromise. So if we want to have a child, someone has to be at home to raise the child. If I'm out getting money and protecting the child, who's going to be in here? Well, the woman. Well, subsequently, if she's in here, she cannot be at work, which means I have to earn enough money for both of us because we're parents. Like, it's plural. I have to make money as parents while she stays home and raises the kid as parents. Plural.
I see like, Peter in the chat. Sorry. What's up, Peter? Good guys finished last.
Good facts. Yeah, so I said it sounds really primal because it sounds like I'm just paying for my wife.
It kind of does sound like it, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like and that's what turns a lot of women off with this conversation, because it sounds dehumanizing to them when I say that I'm willing to compromise working than being a parent. but that's just the way it is. Like, I'm sorry that the words hurt like that, but that's just the logical way it is. I want my wife to stay home with the kids, therefore I must be out earning money and having protection
and
for my
and
household.
this comes down to we were talking about last time preferences. So
Yeah,
Slaine, you're not going to look for a woman who wants everything 50-50. You're going to look for a woman who agrees with your ideals, right? Like you're not going to try to change anybody, or I don't know, what do you think?
yeah, pretty much. I'm not going to be actively looking for a woman who, has this ideal of 50-50, but it's a little different for me because the woman can expect 50-50. But when I come in offering to pay for everything, most women tend to come over to this side. So yeah, most women are willing to give up that. They're willing to compromise on that ideal of 50-50 once they find out the other person is paying for everything. So it's a little different in my case. But you'll never hear about a woman who expects a man to pay for everything to suddenly become a 50-50 woman. So that's
And Juan, what do you think about that?
And the last point, I agree with. Yeah, you can't really expect a girl that's thinking that the guy is going to pay 100% then become 50-50. Yeah, I believe that that's true. But for those that are coming already with the mindset of having a 50-50 kind of like household, um, y- it may be true that a lot of them may be going to the other side and be okay with being a like a housewife and staying at home, taking care of the children. But how long is that going to last? How long are they really going to be happy with that lifestyle? Especially a woman that all their life were working hard, all their life were working towards a big goal, and now they're just given this thing to kind of like just stay at home and not do anything. I don't know if you've ever been in that position where you stop working and you have like that downtime where you're not working, you're not going to school, you're not doing anything. Like, how long are you really happy in that time? Like, for me, after 3 days, I'm done. I'm over. I need to do something. I need to move. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of women are like that. They need to do something. I'm pretty sure that just doing the mundane task at home of cleaning, taking care of the children is not enough for their own mental health also. So I disagree with that point of like them being okay that now I was 50-50 all my life and now I'm going to go into 100% where the male's providing everything or the like, well, whatever is seen as a dominant partner in that relationship. So I disagree with that. I don't feel like most
okay.
women will go after that because of that. They need to be stimulated. It's something that is it's not something that they can turn off just from one day to the other. And maybe they can turn it off for a couple of years, but what happens in 2 years when your partner asks you, "Hey, like I want to go back to work," how will you respond to that?
Yeah, would
I
that be a
mean,
deal breaker for you?
nah, look, if you want to go to work, go to work. Bring some more money into the house, absolutely. But the conversation has to be had where if I'm already working and now you want to go to work, well, now the house is changing. So we have to accommodate the house. If you're going to be at work and I'm gone, who's with the kids? And that's going to be a conversation me and my wife have to have. And it's going to be okay. Well, like who's with the kids? Who do we allow around the kids? 'Cause I think that's the biggest conversation parents have to have these days. Is who are we willing to allow around our children? So, um, it's a pretty specific question. If I have a woman who stays home and now she suddenly wants to go to work, um, I'm open minded about her going back to work, especially like if it's affecting her mental health. But the conversation will have to be had of how do we accommodate our children as best as parentally possible while you are away.
Just a quick shout out. Thank you, Meanie6091. Thank you, Irvin, for the sub.
Okay, and then okay, yeah, I want to hit a brief pause to I want to go way back to Annalyn's question of see why don't we ask women what they think about men are trash? Women are saying it.
Yeah.
that's
All the
that's what this
time.
come from. That's what this come from. Women are saying
Yeah.
it. What Western women are not happy with Western men. All right, just they're not. The American women are the most liberated and free women on the planet, and they are the least happy with their counterparts in men. So every day I hear men are trash, niggas ain't shit, blah blah blah, deadbeat daddies, niggas don't take care of their kids, all this bullshit and propaganda. I like I hear it every day, and that's kind of why I have these conversations. I love talking about this. I'm like, okay, men are trash. What happened to you? Like, what happened to make you think that? Oh well, 1 in 3 women are assaulted before they're 13 years old. Okay, in that regard, I can see how men are trash. Okay, well, what happened to you? Oh, well, my uncle touched me. Okay, yeah, I can see how your brain interprets men are trash. And then you get the women who are, okay, well, what happened to you? Oh, well, my boyfriend broke up with me in high school and I never got over the trauma or went to therapy. So I just hate all men and I'm out here chasing my bag because niggas ain't shit. And I heard that Beyonce said that, and then like the issue is no one ever calls out those women, like the women who have like no valid reason to hate men, but they still spew and spread men hate. No one ever calls them out.
Oh,
Steve
Pete.
Harvey on
Yeah.
Friends with Females. I
Did you
didn't
guys see
watch
what
it.
Steve's? You didn't see what he said?
The,
So
the black delegation has canceled Steve Harvey. All right,
what?
we don't watch.
Oh,
From
that's a good point,
Steve
Peter.
Harvey is the antichrist of black men.
we can talk about it a little bit. So basically, what Steve Harvey did was this past week we saw an interview where he was being interviewed by this female reporter, and I think the female reporter asked Steve Harvey, "Do you have any female friends?" And Steve Harvey said, "No, I do not have any female friends because," he said, 99% of those guys who have female friends, they would, in a heartbeat, they would try to go out. They would like say yes to the girl if she asked him to go out. So there, basically, he said, Steve Harvey said, almost every guy always wants to get out of the friend zone and become your partner. And he says that's why he says some friendships between man and woman are fake. They just wanna, the man just wants to get together with the woman, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you guys think about that?
Juan, I'm gonna let you go.
I think it is very true that most friendships are like that, but at the same time, I could see how there are platonic relationships between men and women, like they can just be friends. But there are a lot of guys who are just there waiting for the girl to break up with the boyfriend, and then as soon as that happens, he's gonna try to shoot a shot. And it goes, I don't know, I see both sides, but as you get older, like Steve Harvey, he's like 50, 60.
Yeah,
I could
he's
see how the older you get, the less female friends you have. I could definitely see that.
okay. What do you think, Juan?
Well, for this one, I personally have female friends, but I wouldn't say like
Female friends
I
that you
would
wouldn't sleep with.
I would agree with that a lot of the female friends that I had in the past, it's someone that I wanted to like be with.
Mhm.
But I do have like some friends that we're just good friends. That's what we are. We've been knowing each other for a long time. We're really good friends. We've shared a lot of good experiences. We have a lot of like things in common, and we're just good best friends. That's what we do. Um, but I could see that the older you get, you're not gonna want to have a lot of female friends, especially if you already have a partner, you have a wife. You're gonna want to limit your time with other like females, especially us as males. Um, so I could see Steve Harvey's point in that sense, because things can get muddy, especially the older you get. You may be having a bad week with your wife, a bad week with your girlfriend, and you have your friend there that you share a lot of uh, common interests with, someone that you share a lot of good experiences with, memories, and something can lead to another thing, and it just gets muddy. So I could see that, but personally, I do have like a couple of female friends that we're just friends, we're cool, and that's it. But that's about all I have to say in that regard. But
Okay.
what do you have to say, Slaine?
Okay, yeah, it's interesting information. Um, First of all, Steve Harvey is captain of the Simp Squad, and everything he perpetuates and spews is about putting a man underneath a woman. So first, that's why we discredit everything Steve says in the first place. Um, so he said that he doesn't want to have female friends because 99% of guys just want to sleep with their female friends, and that's such a trash thing to say because one, it's just not true, and two, it removes his own accountability for his treatment of women. To say that I don't want any female friends because everybody else fucks it up, it completely removes like your own personal ability to make a choice. You don't got to worry about what everybody else is doing. If
Yeah.
you know you're a good person, you can be friends with anybody and not want to have sex with them.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to say, "Oh, 99% of guys do it," or "I don't want to ruin my marriage," or none of that matters, because if you were who you say you are, nothing she does can force you to sleep with her if you don't want to, if you don't make the decision to. So off rip, his statement is just ridiculous. And then to go deeper into it is men being friends with women is rooted in so much trauma for boys, but no one ever talks about boys' trauma because we're supposed to be, the strong providers and protectors. You want to know why most guys can't be friends with girls? Because way back when you're a young boy in school, right? And you have your first real memorable interaction with other boys and girls. Um, Most guys, like when you're a boy, you can befriend other children regardless of gender, boy or girl, because you don't recognize genders are different until you're taught to do so.
Hmm. Hmm.
So before you're taught to do so, most boys are friends with young girls, and it's only until they go home, they talk to their parents. Oh yeah, I made a new friend. Her name is Jessie, and then your parents teach you, okay, well she's a girl. You have to be nice to her. You have to treat her differently than your boyfriends, and things like that. So when you have a young boy who begins to like a young girl, like the first thing he knows is I have to be her friend because you're a weirdo if you just walk up to some person that you don't know and say, "Hey, I like you. My name is James and I like you." That's fucking weird. So the first step in telling someone that you like them is to befriend them. The issue about that is, from the woman's perspective, is if you befriend her and then you tell her you like her, it happened in that order. You were friends first and then you liked her, not the other way around. So now women, they grow up and they think, oh, all of these boys, they become my friend and then they tell me they like me, but I don't want to date them. So now they start treating me differently, or they don't leave me alone, but they're supposed to be my friend. But in the boy's mind, he liked her first and he became her friend because he liked her. But no one ever talks about, like I said, the way boys think or the trauma boys go through, like the rejection that builds off top of that. Because like I say, if I have to befriend you and then tell you I like you and then you reject me, how many women do I build these like partial relationships with? How many women do I befriend and tell them I like them, and now things are different or ruined because they don't like me the same way, and I can either keep being their friend with these repressed emotions, or I can stop being your friend, and now I'm the asshole because I don't want to be your friend no more because you don't like me back.
Hmm.
There's no winning for guys and for boys, and then you don't talk about this to anyone when you're a boy. One, because you don't know to, and two, you think you're not supposed to. You're supposed to be the boy. You're not supposed to cry. You're supposed to be strong. Like you're supposed to be the rock. No one, no one sits down with little boys and talks to them about their feelings or their experiences or even how to properly navigate them. You learn all of this stuff just from trial by fire and rejection, and you just gotta hope you don't grow up to be some fucking weirdo who
Yeah.
becomes saying depressed or weird because they've been rejected by so many women with the wrong idea throughout their boyhood, and no one talked to them about it.
Hmm.
Dang, you brought up pretty solid points.
I was talking about this today. How's you're on my Facebook, Howard. You probably
Yeah,
saw it.
I see it
I was
every day.
talking about this today.
Yeah, I see those comment messages on Facebook. They go on to like they're long comment messages.
Yeah, I do. I've been talking to a lot of women these past few weeks, and it gets like this, but it's even worse because it's text
Yeah.
and there's no tone or context or anything behind it. So once again, I'm talking logically to a bunch of women who think I'm attacking them because that's the way their feelings translated, and now I'm saying now we're arguing, or now we're not friends anymore, or now I'm blocked. Whatever. we gonna keep this show rolling, man.
Does that lead into what's number 3 about? Does that have to do with it?
How to be a good man, y'all.
How to be a good man? I don't fucking know. I I don't fucking know, man. I'm sweating. I'm hot. That's how heated this is right now. How to be a good man? The blind leading the blind man. I don't know. Everybody's definition of good man is different, And then being a good man to a woman is different than being a good man to a person. That's different from being a good man to an individual. Man, all I can say is just become the best version of yourself. Understand the way the world works, and then become a version of yourself that fits into the world. I think we have a lot of people who are just gassed up on this idea of individualism. And individualism is great when it comes to your personal life, but when it comes to like your position in the world, I think it trips a lot of people up because they don't recognize the difference.
Yeah, this question reminds me of like me and Juan were talking about it the other day. Are soulmates real? Like, do you believe in soulmates?
No,
Because
Nope.
it's like,
absolutely not.
yeah, because the question is how to be a good man. So this is implying that if you're a good man, like good things would happen to you. You're gonna like have a good life, have a find a good girl. If you're straight. But it's like, how can you explain to somebody how to be a good man? Like you said, it's a hard
Hmm.
explanation to
It's
give
pretty.
to somebody.
It's hard. It's pretty much I say it's picking the best ideals, and that's based on like where you live. Like I said, morality is subjective,
Hmm.
so it's pretty much just picking the correct morals and ideals relative to where you are in the world, and then just following those to the best of your ability. I know if I want to stay married, I probably shouldn't cheat on my wife. Is that the norm everywhere in the world? No, but I live in America. American women don't want to be cheated on. So if I want to keep my American woman, but to be a good man, I can't cheat on.
Yeah.
So
Um. I
it's
don't know.
tough being a good man, man. I say we're constantly in
Uh-huh.
defense of ourselves. You have to always keep everybody in check, and then you got to keep everybody in check. You got to do the right thing all the time. You can't get caught doing anything wrong, otherwise it's all over and you lose your entire reputation. And it's a struggle, it's a battle, but when you're doing it, it's like flying above the clouds. Life feels good. You feel good about yourself, and people around you embrace you. So it's a very warm feeling.
Yeah, in the chat, give us some ideas. What are some traits that a good man should have according to yourself, your perspective? How to be? How are you? Or if you're a good man, if you think you're a good man, like what makes you a good man? You know. Juan, what do you have to say about this?
Well, I think the only thing I have to say about this is before we worry about being a good man, let's worry about being a good person.
Mm,
I think that's the number one thing is make sure that you're treating people like kindly. That's about it. Try to understand people. Don't try to attack people when they say something that you disagree with. Just hear the other side out, see what they have to say, and if at the end of the day you don't agree with them, it's all right. But you just keep when you're having the conversation, keep it civil. Um, like right now, we're not agreeing on a lot of things, but it's good stuff. It's good conversations. It's giving me a whole different perspective as to what the how the world is seen. One thing that I learned today was kind of like something that Slaine said about the two subsets of guys, of the 50-50 guys and those guys that are
The
willing to put in
traditional, yeah,
100%. So that's something I never really thought about it that way. That's not something that I really sat down and think about. I'm from the younger generation of like kind of like 50-50. That's kind of like the kind of like the left that I'm trying to like move towards to. But I think first is worry about being a good person, and then we can worry about being a good man. And again, like I mentioned at the beginning, um, it's so hard to say what is a good man because the concept of masculinity has been pretty much destroyed. Not even us as men know what it really means to be a man. So now, how can we really say what it means to be a good man? So that's why this is such a hard thing to really say. I think that the basic things is just don't cheat, treat people kindly, try to do your best to protect and provide. But what else can we add to that? Like, it's so difficult if we don't even have a good definition of masculinity. We can't get to really defining what it means to be a good man.
yeah.
yeah.
That's facts. That's facts. And like I said, there's definitely a lot of things you can do to be a good guy. Like I said, you named a few. To name a few more is being a leader, understanding your roles and responsibilities and accepting them. taking accountability for your actions or things, or taking accountability for your actions or events that happen as a result of your actions. And that's a pretty huge one. And that one goes into Smash too, like a few of our other comments, but we ain't even gonna talk about that. What question are we on? We're on number 3. How
Three,
to
and
be a good
this,
man.
yeah, this also leads on to number 4 actually because, um,
Oh yeah,
I
how to be a good man too. Take care of your fucking kids.
yeah, yeah,
Now look,
because
there are a
uh,
lot of men in my generation who are labeled bad fathers when it's really just bitter mothers. So a lot of guys who are labeled deadbeats and they don't take care of their kids and they don't spend no time with their kids. A lot of those, like a lot of that stuff, is true, but it's only true because the woman doesn't allow him to be a good father.
oh wow, yeah, that's some
Yeah,
family drama.
that's a big one in like the black community where pretty much women, like I said, no one's getting married, and women are they get bitter because like I said they're still getting pregnant, they're still having babies, and when you're not married, like I said, the guy has no commitment to you. So whenever you break up, whether it be because of a valid reason like abuse or a bullshit reason like, oh, I saw somebody else at Walmart, and a lot of women, they're just bitter that they couldn't hold down that guy. So in order to hurt him, they withhold the child. Give me that.
Hey guys, ice cream.
Yes, sir. The ice cream king.
Real friend.
Real friend.
Real friend
That's a good
my ass.
man. That's a good man right there.
Yeah, that's a good man right there.
Last time they bought you.
Get out my house.
What have they done for you?
Shout out to my brother Josh. But yeah, man. So let's see. Having kids without having yourself built first is probably.
Yeah.
This is the number one, I would say, fear. Well, nah, it's number 2. This is the number 2 of like fear of young black men like this. Having kids before you're supposed, like before you're ready to have kids, it's a fear.
For
Like,
everybody. I mean, I don't know actually. I don't know.
Instill that into us. Like, look, man, it don't matter what you doing. It don't matter who you seeing, who you fucking. Like, it don't matter. Just don't have no babies.
Yeah. When I think of this, I think of like the typical like I have a bunch of cousins that
Mm-hmm.
had babies like at 18, at 19, maybe 17 as well. I had one. And it's like at 17 years old, you're still living on your parents' roof. You can't really provide your own shelter for the kid. You don't even have a job. You can't provide food. It's like, of course, that kid is gonna make it out just fine at the end. Like, but is it the best life you could be giving them? No. If you would have waited a couple years once you establish yourself a little better with a job or something, then that your child would have a better quality of life, in my opinion. And it's something that I shouldn't be frustrated, but I am frustrated when it happens. But I shouldn't be because that's not my kid. Like I'm not taking care of that child. That has nothing to do with me. But I still get frustrated when I think about, oh, like you could have been so much, like you could have had a degree, a really great job. You could have been something, maybe I don't know, something crazy, a CEO. But it limits you. You're limited because once you have a kid, you have to give your whole life to that
Mm-hmm.
child, and it just limits somebody. And I don't know. I get frustrated when I shouldn't be frustrated. I don't know. That's what I think.
The thing about this one is it's really hard because a lot of the times when you have kids without building yourself first, it's not because you kind of decided to have a baby. It was an accident. Like, well, what can you really do? It was an accident. It's something that when you're 16, 17, 18, it may only be because you were not even taught properly how to use a condom or the different forms of contraceptions. It's not their fault, but I could see the frustration when you know that it's someone that could have done a lot, that could have gotten a degree, could have gone on to do more things, and now provide a better life for their future children. I can see that frustration, but I think here it's more about the lack of education that young men have, and usually it happens with a lot of young men of color. I don't know where the disconnect is, where the reason why we're not talking about kind of like contraceptions and having healthy sex. I don't know where that disconnect is, where that keeps happening. But I think right now, ideally, yes, you would want to have kids once you build yourself, once you have like a home, once you have a good job, a stable job, good investments, good plan for the future, life insurance, all that kind of stuff. But a lot of the times it's an accident. But of course, there's some guys that are just being reckless and like hooking up with three different women and like all this kind of stupid shit that they're doing. But a lot of times in their accidents, they were young. It was like their first partner, and it just happens. So ideally, yes, it's stupid to do it, but what can you really do? At least that's my perspective on this one.
Okay, that's an interesting take, and I'm gonna let you know I highly disagree.
All right.
I believe every baby that is born it is a choice, and not only is it a choice, it's a series of choices. Um, it takes two people to have sex, so you have two brains, who both understand, sex, and I think we as people, you learn the dangers of sex well before you learn and actually start having sex. Um, I had something else to say after that. Hang on. Yeah, you learn the dangers of sex way before you start having sex. So you have two people who both made a decision to have sex together, and then they also decided to have sex unprotected. And then once again, I say it could be a lack of education, but most times, like more often than not, you know, if I don't have a condom, we could get pregnant. So you make the decision to have unprotected sex, and then you find out that she's pregnant, and then you make another decision to carry the baby to term, to have the baby, and to raise the baby, or give it up for adoption or whatever. So before the baby is ever born, you've made 3 to 4 choices. You may not like the choices, you may not like the options, but you made them. And I feel like not enough people accept accountability for those choices. They would rather blame, oh, well, I didn't know, or we didn't expect, or even she told me she was on birth control, like things like that. Like I said, is it tragic when things like that happen? Yes, but once again, you made a series of choices, so you must accept accountability for the outcome, whether you plan for that outcome or not. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, it also comes down. That's what I think. Accountability, and I agree. There are like the sex education we get at school is horrible. Like they don't tell you anything. They just give you a
Well,
banana and say put a condom on it. That's all they do.
even
Our
outside of
fear.
school, I think, what's that? You see your community, you see your parents, or lack thereof. You have on TV and music and media. It's everywhere.
Hmm.
You learn the dangers of sex well before you're having sex, and you also learn that consequently, because you learn the dangers of sex, you learn how to have safer sex. I know I don't want babies. Well, if I don't want babies, what do I do? Don't get drunk in places you don't know. Don't do drugs around like uncomfortable people. Um, don't have sex with someone before you talk about having sex with them because you're aware of pregnancy, HIV, or other STIs. And it's that you learn in order to avoid 99% of the bullshit, a simple condom can be bought on at a corner store at a gas station. So understanding all of this stuff, when someone says, "Oh, well, I thought," or I didn't know," it sounds like bullshit
So what do you
because
think would
two
break the?
people,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's like two people made a series of choices based on what they knew in life and knew about life and knew about creating life, and you had a baby on accident. No, sir, no, ma'am, it doesn't fly.
So how would the cycle be broken? Is it better sex education, or what do you think?
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
In order to stop, um, well, in order to decrease the amount of babies born out of wedlock or babies born unintentionally, let's take away welfare in the country.
Oh, wait. Let me think about this. Why?
Because I think having the safety net has gotten so large now that people no longer fear falling, kind of as a metaphor, to where people are having babies now and then they're blaming it on it being an accident or I didn't know. But what they do know is if they do have a baby, they can just get welfare and the government will support them. They can get unemployment and the government will support them. She can kick the father out of the house and pull child support and then let him sleep over every night, but he doesn't officially live there. So now they're raising a baby together and he's still on child support. Like, I think the system, it started out a positive thing, trying to help out abandoned mothers. That's what it was. It was a bunch of women who they collected money and they gave it to women who were widowed or abandoned because it wasn't so common. Well, now it's become so common that people actually they depend on welfare. It's a necessity for them. It's supposed to be an amenity or I kind of like it's a bridge in your financial gap for your financial gap. But now I say it's become a necessity for a bunch of people. So now we have all of these babies just being born recklessly because there's no longer a consequence for recklessly having babies. I think if you remove welfare from the like, if you just removed welfare, people they would just stop having sex completely in order to avoid having babies, and then because no one's having well, they would stop having unprotected sex.
I don't think I agree with that because I mean in my experience, whenever I see this at school, back in high school, a bunch of girls got pregnant even right after high school. They all like it did seem like an accident. They didn't want to, and it's like I agree with you. It's not an accident because it was a lot of choices, but they were not educated enough, and I don't think schools are to blame. I think they're maybe I don't know parents. Like it's a combination of a bunch of stuff that they should have known and they didn't.
Okay.
Because once they have sex and they're pregnant, I don't think they all think about, oh, I'm gonna get money for this baby. No, I think they're
Well,
just
no, it's they think I won't get pregnant. That's what's wrong with it. They think I won't get pregnant rather than I shouldn't um be getting pregnant. It's they're thinking the wrong way. They think I'm not gonna get pregnant,
yeah, yeah.
and then when they do get pregnant, it's well, this was an accident, but hey, we have welfare.
I don't know
But
about that. See, but
if we
once
hear me out. If we take it away, right,
uh-huh.
and once again, the penalty for getting pregnant without being prepared for a child, if the penalty for that becomes, well, you're gonna go home, you're gonna go hungry, your baby's gonna go hungry, you're not gonna have money, you're probably gonna be homeless, no one's gonna take care of you, and you're gonna die in the street. If that was the penalty for getting pregnant at 16, teenagers wouldn't have sex at all.
Okay, I see that.
And
point.
that's the way it used to be before we had all of these different programs and stuff for underprivileged parents. The penalty for being a parent before you were ready was premature death or just flat out abandoning the baby so you could save your own life. Nobody wants to do that anymore, but no one fears doing that anymore.
Oh,
And that's the
okay,
problem.
that's what you think. Okay,
Yeah.
I well, the thing with
I'm gonna get a
like,
drink.
the
Hold
welfare
on.
thing and all of that. There's just a lot of things that don't don't make sense because let's think about it now. You were
Mhm.
talking about the series of choices. We're talking about all of that.
Right.
Let's say a high school student does get pregnant, 16-year-old,
Mhm.
um, and now they're thinking, oh, before like they even hit the first trimester kind of thing. Um, so now we have to kind of bring into the topic about like I know if it may be too heavy, but abortion. Like now let's bring the topic of into abortion. Is that going to be legal? Is that going to be illegal? And now let's think about abortion and the meaning that it has for a lot of people that are religious. For a lot of people that are religious, now you're thinking about like no more like that you can't have an abortion. So now a lot of this young kids it's not even anymore that it's not their choice anymore. It's because they're forced by their religion to not have an abortion. So is that really a choice by that moment? I don't think it is. So
Well,
that's another thing that we have to keep in mind.
if it gets that far, like I said, it does become an ultimatum rather than a choice. But like I said, this person is religious. They chose to have premarital sex. That was a choice they made. So I said, they're aware that there are consequences to their choice. If you're religious and you have premarital sex, well, you probably can't get an abortion, but you weren't supposed to be having sex anyway. And if you're non-religious, or like I say, if you're just not a devout believer, and you're having premarital sex, you understand that. You understand. First of all, pregnancy isn't even the only scary part of sex. Like you know that. So even if you completely ignore pregnancy, you understand if I have sex with like if I have sex at all, I run the risk of contracting a disease. Well, I said people they just don't fear that anymore because we have modern medicine. They don't fear pregnancy anymore because we have the welfare system. And women, I said, I think before the invention of birth control, women died at a rate of 72% while giving birth. Women just flat out wouldn't have sex or wouldn't have babies because they didn't want to die. Because 72% of the time, if you had a baby, you died giving birth. So,
So
I said people understand consequences. I said people understand that there are consequences, but they're ignorant to the consequences. And when they're making that decision, they're making it based on, I said, it's their current knowledge. They feel like the risk outweighs a consequence, but in reality, it just doesn't, and they don't realize that until after the mistake has already been made. But we have systems and medicine in place to catch people who make those mistakes, and because we label them mistakes through the system, those people feel like they don't have to take accountability for making a mistake. It was a mistake after.
I feel like you said, if you take away welfare, I do agree there's going to be less teen pregnancies, less of that. But there's also going to be a lot more homelessness, mothers in the streets,
Mm-hmm.
and I would rather take like less homelessness than
But see, I think
I don't know.
it's a stopgap. There will be more homeless, but only for one generation. We'd have more homeless, and then suddenly we wouldn't, because we wouldn't be reproducing babies to replace the homeless people.
Yeah,
Okay.
I could see that, but I don't know.
Something to keep in mind is that actually our childbirth rate is extremely low right now for the U.S. So I don't know if that's like an actual kind of argument. If you really look at the numbers, it's not that
It's
high right now.
but are schools open? No, like they just opened. I think a lot of these things, like a lot of kids have sex right after school or at school, and it happens a lot in high school. I think that's why it's one of the
Well,
factors.
we do have to remember that this pandemic, it changed the world. There are a lot of things happening now that just are out of the norm, and because they're happening, that's why these conversations are being sparked. Like you said, the child birth rate has gone down, even though people are spending more time in the house and together. Marriages have gone up, I believe. Last time I checked, marriages have gone up. Divorce has gone down since people have been stuck in the house together. Something else. Crime has gone down over COVID, contrary to popular belief, and pretty much, it's just the country's as a whole. The country is a better place now during COVID than it was pre-COVID, and people are staying together more during COVID than pre-COVID when they had more freedom to run the streets. And what I think this amounts to is, because we were forced to not see like each other and other people, people came to the realization of how much exactly we need each other to live. So you have people. I said they're getting married more. They're staying together more, and they're producing less babies before before they're ready of taking care of them. And all of these realizations are coming, because the world took an extreme turn. So this is kind of what I'm using to support my welfare argument. Yeah, it'll be an extreme change in the world. We'll get more homeless, but once that generation is gone, they die out. I said, they won't be producing. It's such a fucked up thing to say,
Yeah.
but that we won't be producing as many babies as, like, to replace the number of homeless people who will just, you know, untimely meet their end.
Dang, you got Thanos Slaine over here. You want to erase half of the population just like that? Just
I wouldn't
welfare.
say half. Wait. No.
No, I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't say half. Only the people who are on welfare and can't support themselves if it were to leave. There are plenty of people who are on welfare who are fully capable of taking care of themselves. They just don't do it because of they have welfare.
Dang. Well, you guys want to move on to a lighter topic?
Yeah, let's talk about these Twitch thoughts in their hot tubs, because oh shit, Cruz
Oh,
is there. What's up, man?
Cruz, what's up, man?
How do you have so much wisdom, so much failure? Look, I put this in my when I was valedictorian. This was in my speech. My greatest teacher in life was and is failure. My failures. my failures and people telling me that I can't do something. My inability to do something and failing at doing something are my biggest teachers in life.
Yeah. Also,
But
we're all boomers here, so that's why Cruz.
he's spitting. Take a drink.
Yeah. Let's move on to something more light and funny, I guess.
Oh
So,
yeah, I'll let you take the lead on this one actually, because all I know is like
All
the
right, I'll be
girls
back.
are girls are
yeah,
like
no problem.
they're doing the just chill, the just chatting
Yeah.
thing in Twitch, and they're just sitting in hot tubs reading comments. I
Yeah.
didn't know this was a thing until like a few days ago when Omni posted a video about it. I didn't know this was a thing.
It's
But
a huge thing in the just chatting.
this is crazy. How did Twitch allow this?
Yeah, so this is happening in Twitch. So let's talk about the hot tub first. We'll talk about gambling after. So
Yeah,
if you guys don't know, on Twitch, it's supposed to be it's advertised as a
first of all,
gaming
yeah,
platform.
it's a gaming streaming platform.
Yeah, you're supposed to be playing games. But nothing in the rules. I think I remember reading this, or Omni. I saw Omni's video. So in the rules of Twitch, it says, um, what is it? Swimsuits, bikinis are okay as long as there's water nearby. So it's like if you're streaming at the beach, you can't get banned for streaming bikinis at the beach because it's the beach. But with the hot tub, it's like, hey, here's the water, so let me put on a
Yeah.
bikini. And it's like it's a gray area because you can't get banned for a hot tub stream, but it's still like all they do is sit on these giant like weenies, inflatable weenies. They write all the subs names, all the donators names, like on their forehead, on their body, and these women are just getting money. They're actually getting a lot of money, and it's all on Twitch. So what do you, the titty
This shit's
streamers?
funny.
So what do you guys think? Should this be on Twitch? Should this be
No.
like? What do you guys think about this? No.
I'm saying no, absolutely not. But it's not even for the reason that's like the surface reason. Like, should women sitting in a hot tub be on a platform that advertises as gaming? No. In essence, no. And then also the only reason they're allowed to exist here is because of exploitations, like I said, in those gray areas of Twitch rules. Twitch has clause that you can't show anything sexually explicit on stream, such as a woman's naked body, but you are like women are allowed to wear clothes relative to their environment. That's in the Twitch terms
Yeah.
and conditions. You can wear clothes relative to your environment. So it started with women. They would wear less clothing, titty streamers, and they would have their AC like in the window just blasting. And the context was it's really hot here, so I get to wear less clothes. Then it moved to the live streams at the beach, and with the addition of the just chatting section, pretty much just outdoor activities like hiking and stuff like that. Well, someone figured out that I can sit in a hot tub on a inflatable hot dog, and horny guys are gonna pay me to do different stuff. And in context, it's all legal. So, um, I said all that to say this: I don't think it should be on Twitch because it encourages underage girls to participate. Um, because I said it can only exist because we know it's not sexually explicit. Otherwise, it'd be banned, right? Well, what happens when you have like you have to be 16 to stream on Twitch? According to the TLC, you have to be like
No.
14, 15, or 16.
13.
13, even worse.
Yeah, with the parents' permission.
So yeah, so you're able to stream on Twitch starting at the age of 13 or 14. Well, if a 14-year-old girl can just hop on Twitch with a bikini on and jump in a hot tub and get 10,000 guys like watching her, like that's fucking weird. That's fucking creepy. That encourages so much predatory behavior and just hate in the comments. Because if that's okay, well, now you have to see how that compares to the rest of Twitch. All of the Smash streamers, all of the fighting game streamers, all of the speed runners, the esports, all of these people have to share a platform with great value OnlyFans for a 14-year-old girl. How does that make us look?
Yeah. Juan, did you know about this, or what do you think?
Wow. So I'm not really like knowledgeable on this topic when it comes to like the Twitch controversy. I know I know the surface level of it. With like hot tub kind of like conversations being something that's popping up more on Twitch. Um, and that a lot of it's being kind of like described or titled as a conversation, kind of like what we're doing right here, but kind of more of like just usually females just talk like with like in bikinis and supposedly having conversations and you kind of brought up the terms about um depending on the environment and being okay with being in bikinis and whatnot. So like my first impression and the way I see it is, hey, like it's their bodies, they can do whatever they want. But when you bring in the that factor of being underage, that's a whole different thing. So for me personally, if you're 18 and you want to do all of that, you're not hurting anyone, right? If you're underage, then that could be a whole thing. Um, so the one thing is that one thing that you brought up, Slaine, is
Mhm.
that is how can you really start sharing the same platform with those that are doing that type of content compared to those that are just doing gaming, and this is supposed to be a gaming platform.
Mhm.
So could it start being that it could be a whole new platform where that's happening, because that does affect kind of like the in a way, what do you call that word, the
Like the image, the perception.
image and kind of what pops up on people's first impression
Okay, yeah,
of
like
when they
the
the
perception.
algorithm
Algorithm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Twitch.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like so what happens now when someone like goes on Twitch? What is the first thing that they're gonna see? So that also affects kind of like the content creators on this platform. So like my first impression was like, hey, like it's their own body, they can do whatever they want. But when you're breaking down into those like the other little factors, it's a lot more to really to consider.
And let me show you guys something. Does this count as hot tub streams?
No,
That's
this
me.
is just you. This is just you being a goofy dude on a hot dog. Like, one, like,
Pero
you're a
hot dog.
guy. It's different. Like, you're not showing any
Am I gonna
body.
get banned? Am I gonna get banned?
No, like, you're not showing any body. You're not being provocative. Nothing about this can be interpreted provocative. Put it that way. And women can't say the same, whether they want to or not.
Yeah.
Cruz had a question. How does Twitch supposed to fix this? I have a pretty simple solution, but it punishes people who don't deserve to be punished. But I think,
So that's not simple.
yeah. So it's not because it's simple. That's why it's so. I say it's not broken down enough to be specific. So I'm punishing a large group to get the main group.
So what? No, you're gonna say no cleavage or what?
No, so Twitch has a setting for all streamers to where you can set your stream to be 18 plus, and anybody who clicks on your page has to agree that this environment is 18 plus, and I'm agreeing to enter. That kind of saves Twitch's ass from being sued. I think they should make the entire just chatting genre 18 plus, and that's gonna punish a lot of people
That's
who
us
are
right
just,
now.
yeah, it's gonna punish a bunch of, like I said, the people who aren't like from 14 to 18 and they do just chatting to where they're doing like karaoke streams or board game streams or just talking to their chat like this, right? A 14-year-old with a podcast. Um, I think it punishes them directly, even though they didn't do anything wrong. But that's my solution for punishing or for not even punishing that for policing the hot tub stream, because if you have to be 18 plus to watch a hot tub stream, that's Twitch pretty much saying you have to be accountable if you're a weirdo,
Okay.
and they have to be accountable if something in our audience happens that they don't like. Whereas, and that also prevents younger girls from exploiting their bodies like that publicly.
So Slaine, let me ask you this: if you were an attractive 19, 20-year-old woman, would you do a hot tub stream?
Oh yes, absolutely. Look, we've been through this before. If I was a woman, I would be a hoe. Okay, I would sell myself until my wheels fell off. If I could profit off of my body, like literally the one thing I have any control of in this universe, if I could make profit off of this, I would do it absolutely. I'd be right there in the hot tub. I have one of those huge industrial warehouse fans blowing, so my hair blows. I would have a slow motion scene. I would have like the best camera available. I would have slow motion. I would have like the mirror effect. bro, this would be the greatest stream you've ever seen from any titty streamer ever. Because I would dedicate the stream to being the best titty streamer ever. All right.
Getting that bag.
Yeah, but I think the biggest worry I have for hot tub streamers is, according to the rules, a 14-year-old girl is allowed to hot tub stream, all the way from 14 to 18, and she can make money off of that.
Yeah, so
So
I don't
you-
even have a.
she has a real motive to do it, but it's
Uh-huh.
such a negative thing to do. So
I don't have a solution. Like, I can't think of anything that wouldn't hurt others who are not doing hot tub streams. Juan, do you have a solution? I don't know.
To be honest, I really don't. This was because this is something that I'm not really like knowledgeable in, or have a lot of I guess opinion on. It just because the way I saw it, it's your body, you do what you want, and kind of Slaine, it's in that kind of thing. But I think he's just worried more about the
Where it
kinda
is
like
on Twitch.
underage kind of
because
thing.
I don't want them to stop doing the hot tub streams. Like I said, by all means, you found a niche market and you took control of it, and I respect that. Like I said, that's a very business thing to do. It's a very logical thing to do. Is you have leverage, so now you're using it. I just don't want to see, like I said, those 14 through 17-year-olds trying to follow suit where they're not welcome and they're not legally supposed to.
Yeah.
Because I said they're super impressionable. Young girls are super impressionable, especially by slightly older women.
By money.
Yeah, and by money. Like, I'm a 14-year-old, and all I gotta do is show up in a hot tub and show my feet. I can get 10,000 viewers, 5,000 subs per month.
Yeah.
Why would I not?
So let's talk about gambling now. So on Twitch, there was this controversy where this popular streamer called XQC, he basically was gambling real money. Like, he was doing like big money, like thousands of dollars on one blackjack hand. He was doing real big money. And all of a sudden, the next day, a bunch of parents mostly, were like, "Why did you show gambling on your stream? You're promoting gambling to my kids. Like, what are you doing? What are you teaching them?" And then it's like, in my opinion, it's like XQC can do whatever he wants. It's his stream.
Nope.
If you don't watch what your kids are watching, like, you gotta be, I don't know. It's like, oh yeah, XQC was showing gambling to kids, but like, parents should be there to cut off the stream immediately. Like, stop watching that. I don't know.
I'm gonna disagree with you on the fact that XQC is he's a child friendly streamer generally. So for him to suddenly stop being child friendly, that doesn't fall on the parents because they've already vetted the content that their children are watching. They've already filtered XQC through the parental filter and said, this is safe for my child to watch. So for him to suddenly switch and not be child friendly, that fault doesn't fall on the parents. So I'm going to agree with you there. And I'm going to say a thing about XQC. XQC has been a top streamer for a very long time. He knows how to run a stream. When he made the switch to gambling, he could have done two things. He could have put, sponsored in a big label on his stream, because that was a big point of controversy for him too, is he was gambling on this site, but he was paid to stream himself gambling on that site. So it was his responsibility to let his viewers know that, one, this is a sponsor stream, and two, once again, with the Twitch setting, all he had to do was click a checkbox that says this content is 18 plus.
Yeah.
And every child in his stream would have had to click there and say, this, yes, I am 18 plus. And then at that point, let's say it falls on, one, the child for lying, the two, and then it could be the parents' fault for allowing that to happen, because like I said, SQC he made the he made the changes, and he alerted people that, normally I play Minecraft and do whatever, open Pokemon cards, but for this stream here, this one is sponsored and dedicated for 18 plus, and he didn't do that.
Yeah, that's
so
where
he has to accept accountability for his choices or lack thereof.
That's where he messed up. But I think he should still he should still be able to like do gambling streams if he does that first.
Oh yeah, poker is a category on Twitch. And then I think, let's see, it was Moist Critical who was mad at him in the first place, right? And then SQC, SQC had a brilliant rebuttal. because people were shitting
Oh
on him for
yeah, the
gambling
the
on stream,
Pokemon cards.
and he was like, "Bro, you open Pokemon cards on stream. That's essentially gambling. You buy $10,000 worth of Pokemon packs, and you're hoping to get a card worth,
Yeah.
more than your investment. You are gambling, and you're doing it with Pokemon cards, therefore selling it to children." So I had so
Yeah.
much respect. I had so much respect for that clapback, but I do think he is responsible for changing his audience without changing his settings.
Hmm. Are you guys big gamblers?
I'm a huge gambler. All right, you know.
Hey,
I will.
I used to be, but I'm staying away from the casinos. You know, like I know myself, so I just don't go to the casino. So no longer a gambler.
I'm a huge gambler. When I go to a casino, I know I'm going there to gamble, probably to
of
lose,
course.
but I'm there for a good time. So if I walk in with $500, I walk in completely expecting to lose $500.
Yeah, me too. Same.
If I don't, GG's. But I go in mentally prepared to lose whatever I walk in with. But it's just the thrill of gambling is worth it.
Mhm.
It's just worth it.
Let's go on to another topic. So I was thinking of this because there's this.
Facts.
I don't have to use. Yeah, True Cruise. I was thinking of this topic because there are a lot of people, especially YouTubers, that I've seen recently, where in every single video or every Instagram post, they're like, "Stay humble, guys," and then they have the Ferrari in the background, they have a nice car and everything, and it's like, okay, stay humble, and then they would every single video. So FaZe Rug, I don't know if you guys know FaZe Rug.
I don't know.
So he's a YouTuber. He's from San Diego. He buys a bunch of stuff, whatever. He's rich, and then in almost every single one of his posts on Instagram or whatever, he's always like, "I'm humble. I want you all to stay humble, whatever." That's his brand. Just stay humble, and he's showing off all these nice cars, mansions he has. And his biggest thing was that it's like his message is to stay humble to all his audience. But I was thinking of it, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, the fact that you say you're humble, doesn't that contradict himself? If you're humble, you wouldn't really say you're humble, right? Or what do you guys think?
It comes off as narcissistic when you do it in repetition like that. If you say it once, or if you do it once, I think it's fine. But when you're constantly, and by constantly, I can even mean like 3 times plus. Anything like the third time and everything passed, you stop being humble. Because it's like you obviously feel the need to constantly bring up being humble, and that by definition makes you non-humble. So I think you can say you're humble twice, and not at the same time.
Not a third time though.
No, you got 2 times to say you're humble, and then that's it.
Well, I think for this one, it is contradictory. I think it's something that you kind of just do, and that's it. You just are who you are, and if people call you that, you are. If not, there's something to your personality, and it just doesn't align with your actions. So, yeah, I think it is contradictory.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit because I just felt a little bit like I was annoyed a little bit, like, bro, like I got annoyed at the many times this week. I follow him on Instagram. He said the word humble maybe like 5 times this week on his posts.
Oh yeah, he stopped being humble a long time ago.
Yeah. So Slaine, you want to talk about the next? Oh, dude, we gotta explain the situation to
Yes,
Juan,
I do.
because Juan doesn't know what happened. But if you want to explain to Juan a little TLDR.
Woo, nigga. There's no way for me to explain this without giving you a 1,000,000,000-word essay backstory.
All right.
But, pretty much, and I'm gonna shorten it because we running out of time. But TLDR is back in June of last year or 2 years ago. Was it during COVID? It was last year. Yes,
That's true.
June last year. There was a mass exodus, pretty much, of sexual assault victims in the Smash community. Then it got it extended to the fighting game community, and then the Twitch community started doing it. But pretty much, it was a bunch of just sexual assault victims who came out with their stories at the same time because everyone else was doing it, and they found this herd strength within themselves. So amongst all of those allegations and stories comes a Smash Bros. Player slash commentator. She's a black female. Her name is Senpai. Her real name is Cinnamon. Gamer tag is Senpai. And what was so outrageous about her allegation was a lot of the stories, I was at like 99% of the stories, were women as victims, and they were telling the story of their male assailants. Senpai it was a very young boy who was the victim, and Senpai as a woman was the assailant. So her story took off immediately just because it was so different from all the other stories. And I said she was a woman, she's a black woman, and then the little boy who had her claim, he was like 10, 13. So he was young. He was way young. He was like 13 or something, but he looks like he's 7. Hang on. Hey, Hazi, pull up a picture of Puppy. Can you?
Yeah,
I feel like I can't Google him.
Yeah, I don't know if I.
I don't think I can Google him, and he probably took out his Twitter.
I got
But
it.
pretty much, so her story came out how she assaulted this child, and she was just instantly canceled. She couldn't give a rebuttal. She didn't get a word in. So essentially, she just disappeared. She's been gone since the story came out. She didn't respond to the story. She didn't come to any tournaments. She just disappeared off the face of the earth. Well, about 2 days ago, she finally released a statement. Hazi, if you want to bring up the post. So she has a statement and her court order. In her statement, there's not an apology in sight. This is a long ass statement, just completely devoid of an apology. But in the statement, she pretty much says, I ain't never raped nobody. I'm not a pedophile. I never forced nobody to be with me in any type of relationship. Blah, blah, blah. There was a 40-year-old man that wasn't even a part of the original story or allegations in the first place. But something about a 40-year-old man who lures groups of girls and he drugs them.
I'm gonna.
Oh, you showing him the picture?
Yeah, so this is what they both look like.
Hey, make it smaller. Or control minus. Just zoom out a little bit. Oh, you capped it.
Yes, you can see it, right?
Okay, yeah. So the girl is Senpai, and then the boy is her victim. This little boy.
So she's 20. At this time she's 24. He's 14.
Right.
Yeah, he's 14, but look at him. He looks like he's like 9.
Yeah.
Fucking gross. Yeah. Okay. So in her statement, she pretty much is like, I ain't never raped nobody. I'm not a pedophile. Something about a 40-year-old man. I was an irresponsible, inappropriate, and immature 23-year-old girl, but through therapy, I can now decisively say that doesn't mean I deserved any of it. I deserve. Like, she's the victim here. She says her lawyer told her don't say nothing else outside of this statement. She encourages other young women to don't live recklessly and talk to people, blah, blah, blah. Preventing others from experiencing what I had to was all that matters, even though, she's the culprit here. Stuff. She brought up how people keep telling her to kill herself, but she's gone through therapy and decided not to. So it can be concluded that she was suicidal at one point during all of this. And then she has her fucking DNR. No, not a DNR, but what is this called? Like an affidavit or whatever. It's pretty much from her lawyers. Yeah, it's a letter from her lawyers pretty much saying that they have been retained by her. The case is going to be going up, and anybody who says anything else about their case will be brought into court also. So I might get a fucking I might get a letter just from talking about this, but I don't give a damn. She going down.
Yeah, so the thing that was weird, like you said, she was one of the only only woman who assaulted a male. But the thing is that all these male abusers, they got some of them got sued, they went through the legal judicial system, but she got off easy. She didn't even get banned from Twitch. She just left the community. She erased all her social media. So it's like if that was imagine if it was a 24-year-old man and a 14-year-old girl.
Oh, this nigga would have been hung.
They would have been in jail right now.
He would have been burned at the stake if this was a man.
So I'm saying she got off easily. But it's just crazy to
Well,
me how she came
before
back.
we say that, she got off easy based on what we knew. But the fact that she hired a lawyer and she's taking it to court, she's doing what she's supposed to do. Like she's taking the actions of an innocent person. So
Yeah.
I respect that, and I look forward to seeing how it all unravels. Because listen, reading her statement, listen, there was no apology, there was no admission of guilt. I genuinely think she doesn't think she was wrong. Like she does not believe she did anything wrong. She believes she's the victim in whatever scenario played out in her head, and she went and got therapy and legal representation to take care of it. All of her actions line up with those of someone who is innocent. So, based on the evidence I've seen, I think she's guilty. Based on her actions, she's coming off as innocent. I want to see how it goes. No one's heard from Puppe, so we just gotta wait and see if anything ever comes out about it.
Damn.
Yeah, it's pretty
that's-
heavy topics to take in.
Yeah, this is something that I'm super unaware of. So this is a whole like, all of this is new to me.
Yeah, man. So her story, it was just so fucking. It was just so tragic. Like allegedly, she's been like touching on him, like even like in public. There are like Twitch clips of her like rubbing on his shoulders and stuff, seemingly inappropriately, but no one really knew the dynamic of their friendship or relationship or anything. But yeah, just based on the clips, weirdo vibes. But
Was this kid part of the Smash community too?
Yeah, he's one of the best.
Okay. All right.
yeah, so I forgot what I was saying.
Yeah, this leads up to the next thing. So, what do you think about having 4 white men and 1 woman in the council?
Oh, okay. So this is so fucking stupid.
Representation.
Oh, no, there's no representation. Oh, I see what you did there. Open up the link, Haas. So this was about Anti,
Yeah.
and you know me, I've been following Anti's case since it happened because I was one of the few people on his side because he kind of got railroaded with that exodus of all of these women coming out with stories. So it was easier to believe women at the time. And then Anti story came out. Immediately, people who knew Anti knew the story like was false. But no one could communicate that because it was such a minority group of people compared to everyone already yelling at him saying, "Oh, you're a fucking rapist, you're trash, you're a pedophile, blase, blase, blase." So this apparently is the Smash Council. This is the jury of Smash officials who are pretty much deciding if they're talking about Anti in the clip. I don't know what the fuck they were talking about overall. I couldn't find the full like the VOD for their meeting. But this is just something that Anti shared himself, where pretty much in this clip is Esam talking about how when all of the stories were coming out, Esam himself he started reaching out to all the women he had ever talked to.
Wait, Slaine. Let me explain one thing. Juan, how would you? First of all, let me get your first impression. Let's say a guy, he's not your friend, but a guy that you know gets outed as like he abused or harassed somebody in a sexual way, and you think of him like, whoa, what are you doing? And then let's say his defense was, one of his defenses was, after that happened, you know what? Let's say he reached out to a bunch of women, a bunch of your friends, a bunch of women in the community, and he said, "Have I ever wronged you?" Like, but it was like, doesn't that seem like? Oh, what do you think about that? If he reaches out to a bunch of women and he's like, "Hey, did I ever do something wrong to you? Like let me know." How does that sound like to you?
Yeah. This is weird. So just thinking about, because I'm not part of like a community like this where kind of like you're part of the same like like streaming or whatever. But let's say that it was like group of friends, and then friends from friends, people that you just met, right? Like that you've met and you've hang out with and that kind of thing. Like if one of my friends, like allegations come out of him like doing something sketchy, I would want to listen to his side, just like, hey, what's up? And also the girl side that's putting in like the like I guess the
Accusation.
what's the word?
Yeah.
Accusation.
Yeah.
Thank you. But that that's kind of weird in a way, right? No, in my perspective, just asking every girl like, have I ever wronged you? Because just because you didn't wrong the majority of females, girls that you interacted with, and people, uh, that doesn't mean that you didn't kind of like really wrong one person. But
Okay.
that to me that's just weird because you cannot really minimize the experience of one person based on um, all your interactions with everyone else. But I don't know if I'm in the right track, or maybe I'm not understanding the story.
No, no, that's fine. That's fine. So what happened in reality was, so there was an allegation that come out against this black dude named Anti, and his allegation was the woman, she was saying that Anti lied to her and he took her to his party. She got drunk, and then after that party, where she was drunk, they went back to another location and they had sex. Come to find out, she was 16 the entire time. But um, in the grand scheme of the story, that was her version of the story. The story came out with more details, and we find out that Anti and this underage girl, they met on Tinder, which you have to be 18 to sign up for it in the first place. So they met on Tinder. When they hooked up on Tinder, he asked her, hey, are you 18? She told him yes. And then the night in question, she allegedly told him that I'm not really 18, I'm really 16, and he was fine with it. He said that never happened. So at that point, it's he said, she said, and
Mm-hmm.
then they go to this party, um, but they're not together at the party. They didn't go to the party together. They just both happened to be at the same party. So that's how that unraveled in the story. And then like I said, she was drinking, one underage, two she's 16, and hella underage, and he's at the party, and then they hook up after the party. So did they have sex? Yeah. Did he have sex with the underage girl? Yeah. But given all of his knowledge, like he was lied to, and it pretty much just came down to um ideologies. Pretty much, just does him being lied to absolve him of sleeping with a 16-year-old girl? So that was the story. In this scenario, um, after his allegation came out, he then reached out to all the other women he's had some kind of like relationship with, and he's like, hey, there's an allegation about me that just came out. I want to know if I've ever done anything to you that makes you feel like you have an allegation story against me that you might want to saying tell when this one comes out as a part of the Me Too saying movement army. And the women he asked that to, they found it weird. They told their guy friends, and a bunch of Smash player like pro guys, they were like, oh, he's going around asking women if he's ever touched them inappropriately. He's such a fucking weirdo. He's so trash. He's an assailant. He's a pedophile. They were just thrashing him. And then as the story unraveled, well, turns out he's fucking innocent. And now these Smash like council guys, they're having this panel meeting, and and in this meeting it comes up that Esam, who's on the panel, he was like, oh well, all these stories started coming out, and I reached out to all the girls I knew, and I asked them, did I ever wrong you? And all of them said no. Okay, well, you just called Esam, you just called Anti trash for doing the same thing, but you did it too.
Yeah.
So are you saying you're also trash, or are you saying this is a reasonable thing to do? And he just dodged that question like the fucking Matrix. But so as again, Anti's a black dude, and then you look at this council, right? This Smash council. You've got Coney, cis hetero white male. You have Esam, cis hetero white male. You have Gimmer, cis hetero white male. I don't even know who the fuck this
Yeah,
dude
me
is in the
neither.
bottom left. I think he's some melee player,
I don't know.
cis hetero white male, as far as I know. But it's okay. We got Jisoo. We got an Asian woman on the panel. So there's our representation, right? There's our diversity. So we got 4 white dudes and an Asian woman holding a Me Too or a ban trial for this black dude who was proven innocent, by the way. And then they're expressing like their own opinions and actions, which line up to what this innocent dude did, but they're calling him trash for it, and they called him trash in the past, with no apology, no accountability for their own actions or words, nothing.
Yeah, this is when the Smash like this is when these kind of issues should be going to the judicial system. It shouldn't just stay on Twitter, and it sucks because it creates a lot of Twitter drama, and then people then take advantage of that, and then, like this dude, this bald guy in the middle. Whenever every day somebody would get called out for this predatory behavior, he would just send his thousands and thousands of followers against them, regardless if he checked the evidence, regardless if as soon as it came out, like he didn't even check the evidence, he didn't even ask both sides of the story. He just sent all his whole army to attack all these people who got accused, and some of them were innocent, but like the damage is already done. Like you smeared his image.
Like, bro, Sam is he's another captain of the simp army. All right. Now, first of all, like you're I don't know if they're engaged, married, or they're just dating, but you're in a relationship with this girl, like, and who does OnlyFans, first of all. Not holding that against her, but your girlfriend pretty much sells her body on the internet, and you're okay with that. And then you find out that your girlfriend who sells herself on the internet, she encounters weirdos from time to time. And then, so now it's like you're angry at the weirdos because you're defending your girlfriend. Well, when your girlfriend is one of these people who they're like, believe all women. Well, as her boyfriend and a simp, like, and a captain like, of the simp army, well, you're just gonna follow suit. So he's one of those simp dudes who's like, oh, believe all women. And as soon as these stories came out, he's the first dude. Cancel this person. Oh, this person is trash. Oh, I always knew. And here go the receipts. Here go the clips. Here go the evidence. Like, you doing all of this work to simp, and then when it comes out that the dudes that you're just fighting against, with all of this so-called evidence, and all of your followers who send hate and just spew nonsense and spread just false narratives, after you do all of this stuff, you don't apologize when you find out you were wrong. You don't accept accountability for all of the things that you did that were wrong. And we find out that you took the same actions that you thrashed this person for.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. I'll never shake you. I'll never be. Oh my god. Fuck you, Sam. All right. Tell him I said it. Fuck you, Sam.
He said it. I
Yeah.
did that. This one's kind of it's kind of weird because it sounds like this guy. What's his name? Esam.
Yeah.
Sam, yeah.
Esam just jumps on anyone that kind of like gets an accusation on him or her or whatever. But it's interesting because I'm also kind of like I mentioned it at the beginning when we're talking about the situation when Haciel was kind of like giving me the facts and the story. I would like to hear the story and see what's up. But first, I want to listen to the story, listen to both sides, and then try to make my own decision and make a kind of like an informed conclusion as to what happened. But it seems like this guy's just jumping on people to get canceled. So
Yeah.
he sounds like a interesting guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's
Crap. And then
yeah.
I was like, he's just one of the many dudes in the Smash community who have some kind of platform who exhibit this behavior. Like him and MVD, I think are the top two
Yeah.
just trash people with voices in the Smash community. But with them being top players and having followings, excuse me, with them being top players and having followings, people just gravitate to whatever they say because that's just who they follow. So even when they're wrong and don't accept any accountability or repercussions for being wrong, it's like, what are you doing? Like, what positive are you doing to where you're just blatantly lying and spreading misinformation, and then you don't apologize? So now your followers are going to do the same thing because they see it's okay when you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, we have the entire Smash community, or a large part of it, at war with another part of it, and it becomes right against wrong. And when the wrong people are the majority, well, the wrong people will end up winning. and that's so fucked up to think about. And the fact that he can't see the fact that he can't see what he's doing, it just devalues him as a human being. To be honest, like, forget being a Smash player, forget being a top player. It completely devalues him as a human being to where he cannot recognize his own faults and accept them.
Well, we're getting to the end of the show. I guess Slaine, you wanted to talk about the new Lisa album? I'm not familiar
Oh
with
no,
Lisa.
I didn't want to talk about it. I just dropped that in there because I saw it and I'm so fucking happy about it. Yo, I love Lisa. If anybody, if you don't know who Lisa is, Lisa Olive, Lisa, she's a Japanese singer, and she's done probably most of the anime openings that you remember, like Crossing Field from Sword Art Online, Adamas, Gurenge from Demon Slayer. She did a few for Gundam. She's done a lot of anime openings pretty much, and she's a just really talented singer who's been at the top of the game for a very long time. I love her to death. She's a beautiful woman on top of all of her talent. I'm a Lisa fanatic. All right, my
Yeah, I don't
my
know.
phone's wallpaper is Lisa.
I think you guys watch more anime than me, so I don't know. I'm not familiar
You
with
can't
her.
even fucking see it on my. Okay, I'm gonna add another one. Yep. look at this absolute the fucking ring light. Okay. Look at this absolute treasure of a woman. She's fucking beautiful. She's amazing, and we stand. All right. She has a new album coming out on the 15th. Control Z.
15th. That's Irvin's birthday.
Irving.
Juan, what's your favorite artist or singer?
Wait, for like in general for music.
Yeah, for music, anything, any music.
At this moment, I would probably say
Camilo.
who is it? Honestly, it's Camilo. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
like this Latin pop in Spanish. He's not someone that a lot of people would know about, but yeah, that guy's really good. Um, that's what I've been listening to recently. So yeah.
All right. Mine's Rise Against, but I mean it's been there for years.
Rise Against. That's interesting. I like a few of their songs. I like Survive and Prayer of the Refugee.
Dude, with Rise Against songs, you can talk about the lyrics for hours and hours and hours. We can make a whole podcast about the lyrics. It's because it relates to all these topics. It's crazy.
No, that's fine.
Any
lyrical breakdown?
Any last questions in the chat before we head out? Well, yeah, Juan, thank you for being here tonight. Any last thoughts you want to say as well?
For me, no. Thank you for having me. It was a good conversation. It really opened my eyes, especially at the beginning of the stream. It was really good to kind of get new ideas, new perspectives. It's always good. I like having these conversations, thinking about masculinity, what it means to be a good man, all this kind of stuff. It was really good. It was informative. So thank you all for having me here today.
Yeah, and make sure you guys follow Juan. His Instagram is right there, Juan Ugarte. Wait, Ugarte or Darte? I think I misspelled it.
Ugarte.
No, I got it. I got it right. 13. Okay.
Yeah, you got it right. On 13.
So follow him on Instagram. He's gonna be on TV soon. So make sure you watch the TV taping. Well, what is it?
No.
What's the show?
Huh?
What's the show called?
It's called America Says.
America Says. Okay, so make sure you guys watch it. It'll come out next month. Juan's gonna be the star of that, and yeah, thank you all for watching tonight. Slaine, any last words?
Oh man, I definitely enjoyed this. I enjoyed having you here, Juan. So I love, like I said, talking to people, especially having these kind of deep, rough conversations, getting their input and perspective. One thing I would say I like about these things is I like it when I'm not right. I like it when I talk about things and I get new information and I find out, oh, I was wrong. You got it. Like, because I feel like that helps me. It helps me grow. And then when I have this conversation again with someone else, I can help them grow. So it's all progressive. So I don't take being wrong or being presented with new information as a bad thing or as a hostility. So I definitely appreciate you taking the time coming to our show, man. We'll love to have you back sometime again, man, because you definitely have some good thought provoking points to talk about, and we'll probably hang out in person in the future.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. All right, guys. So I think we're gonna end the stream there. I don't see anyone on my follow list that's really online. So I think we'll just end it there. But good night, everybody, and have a good rest of your night. All right. Once again, thank you, Juan. Thank you, Slaine, and I'll see you all next week, Tuesday
Peace.
nights, 7 p.m. And this will be uploaded to YouTube as soon as I click the end stream button. So check it out on YouTube if you want to watch the
Hey,
replay.
hold on. Host TK.
Host TK?
Yeah.
All right. You down? All right. Let's raid TK.
Everybody, let's see. Everybody pop in TK chat and then just spam Slaine gets Sharice.
What?
He knows he knows exactly what it means. Just hey go, I'll drop it in the just Slaine plus Sharice.
Oh, shameless. Okay. All right, guys. So hopefully you guys have a good night, including everybody in the chat, Juan, Slaine, and yeah.
Everybody drop this in the chat. All right, peace.
All right, peace, everybody. Let's see if he gets the notification. Oh no, let me.
Oh, am I alone in this raid? Yeah, y'all trash. Y'all hold me.
No, I'm there. I'm there.
Oh, let's go. I was like, oh, y'all hold me.
All right, good night, guys. That was a good episode.